What is in it for me and you?
And this morning, as I visited one of the sites that I went to launch the construction in March, I was amazed that a site that was flat in March today, and I was with the member of parliament for Ruiru, today has 11 block units, almost at 60% complete. And
from that registration, Your Excellency, now you are able to save and eventually be allocated a house. With us here, Your Excellency, we have two Kenyans who have gone through that process, Jemima and Joseph.
Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the Heart Property Managers and my name is Winnie. Well, today I would like us to discuss about the much spoken about affordable housing in Kenya. This initiative, I think, was launched by the last regime with the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And at that time, I think in 2017, when he launched the Big Four agenda, one of them was housing. And in his Big Four agenda, his target was to do at least 500,000 houses by the end of his tenure in 2022. But that was not achieved, and we're going to discuss some of the issues that happened in that project later. First of all, the Constitution of Kenya provides that every citizen of this country is entitled to a good living, a good house, a good, well sustaining house with good supply of water that is sanitary, accessible by road. That Article 43, I believe, subsection 1, Part B, indicates that we are all entitled to a house that has water and electricity and can be accessed by road. So with that alone, it shows how the responsibility is in the shoulders of the government to ensure that every citizen has access to affordable housing, whether they are purchasing it or just renting it. Where are we right now? A lot of times we believe that information is power, and once you know what is going on, where you are, you're able to make informed decision on what to do. So as a Kenyan citizen, the first question is, are you aware that the development of this alternative affordable housing is good for you? And if it is good for you, despite the challenges, just recently there was the Court of Appeal judgment that allowed the government to continue levying or taxing citizens until 2026. Just to mention that there was that tax that was levied on salaried people, 1.5% of your salary to go towards affordable housing. So the latest is the Court of Appeal gave the government the green light to continue collecting this tax towards housing. When you talk about affordable housing, as an estate agent, this is a very area that we are interested in, or can I say I am interested in as a real estate agent. The reason why I'm interested in this is because the journey towards owning a home is a dream for most people, just to say. And if there is a way alternative that can bring a solution to it, I think each and everyone should be able to participate or contribute towards it. And honestly, I feel the first step is for all of us to get registered at Boma Yangu. At the moment, only 500,000 people have registered on Boma Yangu. And since this is just a registration, you can start off your registration, and then the process, literally, let me just put it like this. the first step is for you to get registered. So we are all responsible for how our countries run or how things turn out. So if we register, then through that experience, we can be able to call shots on how we want things to be done. So the first step is to go to Boma Yangu, www.bomayangu.go.ke, and get registered as a first step. In terms of information, let us start. How is Boma Yangu categorized? Boma Yangu is categorized in three formats. They have the affordable housing, they have the social, and they have the market rate. According to the Boma Yangu website, or according to the government, the target is to have 50% of the houses under affordable housing. And the affordable housing just comprises of apartments, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. And then we have the social. The social rate is for, I think, upgrading, slum upgrading, where you have studios and one room, the ones we call plot 10, that is under the social. And then also we have the market rate. The market rate, I think, is the category where we can call the high-end type of affordable housing will comprise of houses. So this ones, it depends on the size. Actually, the affordable housing program is just divided into the type of housing and the sizes. So like I said, there is the market rate, which comprises of housing units, maybe there'll be bungalows or mansionettes. And then we have affordable housing. So according to the government, only 20% of the affordable housing will go to the social, that is the slum upgrading, the 1 bedroom and the studios. Then 30% will be targeted towards 50% will be targeting towards market rate. No, affordable housing, not market rate. Market rate is the topmost. So affordable housing. So under this 50% affordable housing, we'll get the category like what was done at Pangani Starehe. But what was done in Pangani in the first phase of the affordable housing, which comprised of 2 and 3 bedroom units, that is Starehe constituency. Those who are under the affordable housing. So they target to literally to do more apartments, less of the can I say this, the slum upgrading houses, less of those, more apartments, and 30%, can I say 30% of the upper class. Why is this so? Because I think according to the statistics, most developers only target very few developers. Can I say current development? 2% of the current developments are the ones that target the low income earners. And since 65% of urban dwellers are living in low income areas, it leaves out majority of urban dwellers out of the current developments that are being done by developers. So those three categories, once you log into Boma Yangu and then choose how you want to save, they will automatically allocate you at the level where you belong. For example, according to the information on Boma Yangu, they've capped the minimum saving to 2,500. So for example, if you want to save 10,000 shillings per month, they'll automatically find the space where which is suitable for you, which level you're suitable, where you're suitable at the social, at the market rate, or at the affordable housing. It will automatically label you there, and of course you'll be allocated a property. What I'm not sure about is if you're able to choose which, for example, if it's an apartment, whether you're able to choose whether you want to be on the ground floor, first floor. I am also not sure if these allocations you're able to negotiate the terms, not really negotiate, but just the amenities that are provided. Is it this is shown earlier? Does the service charges and all these things discussed earlier before you are given this allocation. According to Boma Yangu also, once they've allocated you a property, if that property is developed, you can actually move into it as you continue paying. That is one of the incentives that the government is providing for those who are interested in purchasing their homes using the Boma Yangu. And so it is called Tenant Purchase Scheme, TPS. So you can continue paying your rent as you own the property and you already moved in. What is in it for me and you? So apart from the fact that for a long time, many people have been longing and waiting to have the TPS, the tenant purchase scheme, many developers have not offered that. I think it's only the government that can take that kind of risk of tenant purchase scheme. So the first thing is you are able to own a house as you live in it and as you pay for it. That is the one advantage. The second advantage is once you've been allocated a unit or a house, you are also allowed to move in it. And there are so many other things, including exemption from stamp duty. Yes, one of the advantages is the affordable housing will exempt purchasers from stamp duties. Of course, there's also the advantage also of avoiding all these incidental costs like legal fee, transfer fee, and all that. I think the transfer fee will be included in it, which is necessary. But the advantage is, especially the TPS, the tenant purchase scheme, I think is one of the best advantages of this initiative. So the affordable housing will literally move, if really well implemented, it will move almost 50% of urban dwellers from rental houses to uh, uh, this affordable housing, which they can continue paying rent as well as owning it. Before I move into the other side of this, the benefit of the developer, or how the incentives the government is providing for the developer, the reason why I would encourage all of us to register at Boma Yangu is because there's power in numbers. The more people register, the better. Secondly, it's because you also want to cut out, can I say, those investors who might be interested to purchase these same houses and eventually rent them out to you. So a common sense just say that in order to cut out all these middlemen, or can I say real estate investors who will take advantage of this and buy as many as possible, unless the government just becomes strict on you can only purchase one unit in a certain location, or a certain, like for example in Nairobi, unless the government says that one house per person, then maybe that can protect people who are still undecided on whether they want to take up this initiative or not. And when they do, they'll not be caught into getting people who are willing to rent to them instead of them purchasing. Owning a house is a dream for everyone, but I think if the government takes these steps, it's only up to us as citizens to take the next step and get millions of people registering on Boma Yangu so that we can activate or hold the government to account in terms of delivering the number of units that they promised. What do the developers get? What are some of the incentives that the government is giving to developers to entice them to take up this role? Because for the government to achieve this agenda, the one item or the one ingredient that they must take up is partnership with different developers. So what is the government doing to get into this partnership? One of those items, or one of the things that the government is doing to entice developers to take up the development of affordable housing, is providing land. So the government is offering land, free land, to developers who are willing to at least do a minimum of 100 units of the affordable housing houses for the government. So that is one. And the reason why the government is doing this is because the cost of land has continuously increased over time, and it's very, very expensive. 40% of the capital that developers put in when they want to build or develop houses is usually on land. So the cost of land is so high. So if the government is willing to provide land to developers, then that is the first step towards encouraging more developers to partner with the government on this. The second thing the government is doing is in taxation. So the government is willing to cut down corporate tax for those developers who are willing to step in and partner with it from 30% to 15%. This will encourage more developers because, of course, it will cut down on different costs in the process of development. And thirdly, the government is taking the initiative to develop infrastructure in the different locations where the affordable houses are going to be built. So the initiative is going to be spread all around the country. And so, of course, different areas, the land prices are different. So the government is providing land, the government is going to cut down on taxation, the government is going to take care of the infrastructure. I believe these three items really contribute a lot in the cost of housing for developers. So if the government is willing to take up this cost, or at least cut down on this cost, I'm sure many developers are willing to step up and come in and partner with the government for development. Currently, apart from the Pangani that were built there, at that time, during the regime of our former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, the target was to have at least 500,000 units. Unfortunately, they only managed to do 3,000 units in Pangani. And, we know the story of all the challenges that came up with that. So they've been also a launch of more affordable units. The government has partnered with King's Developers in Ruiru, and that is called Bomayangu Estate in Ruiru, and they're doing one and studio apartment and one bedroom apartment. They've also been a launch of affordable houses in Homa Bay of 5,000 units. So there's progress in this end, but unfortunately, there's been a very slow take up by the Kenyans, citizens themselves, ourselves. We have been very slow in registering at Bomayangu, and because of all the politics and all the issues that are going on around it in terms of taxation. So if developers, a few more developers are willing to step in, and the government is providing land, cutting down taxation, and is willing to do a infrastructure, I believe that we are going to see more and more units coming up, and we hope that the quality will be as good as the current developments that are available in the market, so that more and more people are attracted to these developments. So what do you think is going to be the impact of this? Assuming that more people, or can I say over 5 million people, register at Bomayangu, I don't know, some of the key issues, apart from the tax levy, some of the key issues that Kenyans are concerned about, I think, is corruption, the fact if the money that is being taxed or the monies that are being paid into government will be utilized for development of these units. So because there's a lot of issues of trust, there's a lot of corruption in the government, many Kenyans are skeptical about the implementation, or actually this dream of home ownership can be actualized through the government. And so that is the catch-22 situation with the issue of Bomayangu and affordable housing initiative by the government. And so many countries, I think, around the world are still grappling with just affordable housing issues. Some countries have successfully made it and done the affordable housing. But the big question here is, how will this impact the current development that we have? Like I mentioned before, the current set of developers only target their target is upmarket only. Only 2% of the houses developed right now are targeting low income earners. And so will developers shift on how they develop houses, will this affordable housing in the next 5 years change or have an impact on houses that are on sale or rental houses, assuming or as government is offering this TPS, tenant purchase scheme, do you feel that more Kenyans are likely to take up the affordable housing, given that once you pay your deposit, unlike the normal developers housing where you need to pay the full cost of the house or probably get a mortgage before you can actually move into the property, and then of course you need to pay the interest and the loan until you complete it. The affordable housing on this end is offering you a TPS, a tenant purchase scheme, where if you are saving 20K per month and you want to move into a 3-bedroom house, you'll move into the 3-bedroom house and pay your 20K for the next 25 or 30 years. I personally believe that this is a very good opportunity, um, especially for first-time buyers. And I want to correct this by saying earlier I had mentioned that the stamp duty, people will be exempted from stamp duty. The stamp duty exemption is only for first-time buyers. For people who are reinvesting in real estate, you'll have to pay your stamp duty. But for first-time buyers, and I think they're targeting young people below 30 years, to purchase these units, and so they'll be exempted from stamp duty. So if you're a young person and you're watching this, I believe this is something you can take up. And since the government is offering you a tax-free kind of purchase, you can take an advantage of this. Or even parents, if you want to purchase this on behalf of your child, you can take up this opportunity and invest. So what are some of the things that you are concerned about on affordable housing project that the government is trying to implement? What are your concerns? Have you registered at Boma Yangu? And if you have, what was the process? How did you find it? Are you already saving with the government to purchase a house? And the other thing is, if you haven't registered, what is your reason for not registered with Boma Yangu? Please give your comment, give your concerns on the comment section. Let us just hear your opinion. What is the reason why you haven't registered with Boma Yangu? What are some of your concerns? Do you believe that the government will be able to deliver on this affordable housing project? And if not, what do you think are some of the reasons why you feel the government is incapable of delivering this project, or is incapable of providing us with affordable housing? What do you think is going to happen now that the Court of Appeal lifted the ban on taxation or the deduction of the 1.5% of salaried people? The other question is, where does that leave uh, business people or non-employed people who are doing businesses? What approach do you think the government is going to use to implement this taxation? Please share your opinion on the comment section. Let us have this conversation concerning affordable housing. Let us learn from each other. What is your opinion? What do you think is the best way? And if you are to take up the affordable housing, if you are to register, what is your target? Are you targeting to get into the social level or affordable housing? Affordable housing level is the 2 and 3 bedroom units, which are going to be at least 50% of all the houses being developed. Or are you going to go for the market rate, which I think those ones are not apartments, they're like villas or bungalows? Are you going to go for those ones? And if you are to save, the minimum saving amount per person is 2,500. So do you think that is fair? Are you able to save 2,500 shillings per month? Or do you think it should be reduced? And if it should be reduced, how much do you think majority of Kenyans can afford? That is all from us today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and like this video. We like to know what some of the topics you'd want us to discuss concerning real estate. We are feeling very excited this year that there's so much going on, and we'll take the initiative to visit some of these affordable housing units or developments wherever they are and bring them on this platform so that you can actually see what the government is doing, what the government is offering, and maybe that can also encourage you to go and register at Bomayango. That's all from us today. This is the Heart Property Managers. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.